The following is a presentation of iRacing on PTR TV. We'd like to thank all of our channel partners for their support. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and we hope you enjoy today's broadcast.
Whatever you drive, however you drive. AMSOIL specially engineers lubricants to maximize power, performance, and protection in your vehicles, so you can work hard and play hard with confidence.
We have taken the trip all the way across the West Coast and into northwestern United States here into the state of Oregon. The beautiful trees, the beautiful landscape here in the Pacific Northwest, home of the Portland International Raceway, a track that's held IndyCar, kart, the Truck Series back in the 90s, and currently holds ARCA and the NASCAR Xfinity Series. But tonight, we're going to take the next-gen cars here and have some fun with our triple bypass drivers. Welcome everyone to PTR TV. Today's coverage of the Nichols Oil Pro Cup Series here for the Rip City, which that's a nickname for Portland if you didn't know. The Rip City 142 here at the Portland International Raceway. Gonna be myself, Corey Silva, in the booth and in the truck with Brad Dalton, and we got the triple booth today. Andre Dirk Grumbush here to help out with the calls and help give us some of the action here. So Brad, I'll start with you. A road course, that's your penultimate, that's your zone, that's your alley, but I know this one's a little bit unfamiliar to you.
International Raceway, where the start-finish line is met by drag race control. So if you look just past the bridge here on the screen, that was on the screen, that is where the start of the drag race strips are. They run down the front stretch. So this is a fun little track. It's newer to iRacing, 12 turns, just under 2 miles. There's a section of it called Porsche Hill. It's going to be a pretty fun run here for cars that can race like GT4, GT3 cars. I just don't know how these guys are going to do, though. It's one of those that we've talked about it, and we'll save it for later. These Cup cars are interesting on road courses.
They are interesting on road courses, and they're even more interesting when the first corner of the track is a 90-degree chicane. I know that caused some controversy in the real-life Xfinity Series when they went there this year. Drivers were having issues getting into that corner and having to take the access road, which was deemed legal as far as NASCAR is concerned. Will not be legal here on iRacing. It'll be a track cut. So they're going to have to, I would say, lean a little bit more towards give than take if they want to survive the opening bit of this race. But overall, really fun racetrack. It's kind of unique in that it's a simple layout, but the simple ones are the ones that tempt you the most and maybe get you to overdrive just a little bit.
Yeah, track width here is certainly going to be something to play in these nice wide next-gen cars, particularly through the first segment. We'll see if these guys keep on track side by side. Again, Keaton Crothers here, 809. This is his sponsored event, the Rip City 142, and currently doing a bang-up job as the fastest here in Q. Fastest really in practice, trying to go for that clean sweep. Our point standings after 8 events rather. Jeremy Brown with 2 wins up on Ty Bass. And then we have Elton Wu, the Rooster, and Dylan Freeman with the win. McClendon, when's he going to get the win? Hint, hint, it's not going to be today because he's not here. And you can see Matt Harmon right there on the cut line. But that's going to be the end of qualifying here. Just actually, we get our little 2-minute warm-up here, so my normal routine's a little thrown off, guys.
I'm probably a little thrown off too with it. So it's part of the fun of the road course stuff is that, they kind of shake up the format a little bit here with triple bypass and set things up slightly different, but it's still pretty fun to kind of see how these guys do. I'm excited to watch how this goes. Again, as you said, McClendon's chasing that elusive win. We're going to see a lot of that tonight. Yeah, I'm just going to leave that there. Okay. Well,
I'm getting an update
Andre,
from
I think that's what we're prepped for.
I'm getting an update from the booth here, guys, from the top booth, the admin booth. Nicholas Deal has won a free T-shirt. The qualifications for winning the free T-shirt, where if you show up today, you have a chance to win it. So Nicholas Deal did that. He did it well, and he'll get himself a TBP T-shirt.
All right. Any day you get a free T-shirt's not too bad of a day, unless you also fall off a cliff that same day. Then it might kind of balance out, not be a good day. But either way, it is going to be a good night because we're here at Portland. Looking forward to some really good road course action. And Brad, last time I was covering these boys at a road course, it was the Roval, and that race was keeping us on our toes 24/7, which is saying something because I'm a cripple and I literally can't be on my toes. So I think if we can replicate that excitement here tonight, it's going to be a good time.
This is this is going to be a good one. Sorry, you caught me off guard with that
As
joke.
he tends to do.
Okay, well, with all of that being said, it's funny because you and me covered the Roval, Andre, and we had a good time with it. I really do think these guys are going to have a good time here in Portland. I will say through practice, the one thing I caught was that pace varied a little bit more than I think I'm used to seeing with these guys. I know the pace can vary, but I'm not used to seeing it vary nearly as much. So it's going to be interesting to see how these guys close up pace, and if practice was true, as the starting lineup is up, and no surprise, Keaton Cruther's up on top with Jeremy Brown in second place here. P3 on the night will be Ben Harcum with Adam Shaw in fourth place, and then P5 here, Zach Nerney. More drivers in the 113s here in qualifying, so that's a good thing to see. Michael Hopkins, the first 114 in P6, Harmon in seventh, with Benson to his outside there, starting in eighth. Daniel Williams P9, and then Mark Hertzog in that number 57 will kick off P10, and then Corey, let's send it back to you for P11.
All right, we got Cam Cannon 11th. The boss man Al Corey going to be in the 12th spot. 13th finds Nicholas Deal, our T-shirt recipient, with William Emmert going to be in 14th. 15th is Zanobi with his trophy. Sort of rhymed. Naj going to be in the 16th spot. 17th we have Mr. Risto and our series sponsor, Nickel Oil Pros. Tex Nichols, I always say Oils Pro. I always get the S's incorrect. Everyone makes fun of me, but I tried to say it properly this time.
Well, A for effort, that's what really matters. So a kind of condensed field, 18 drivers, but I think given these drivers' repertoire, it's going to be fun either way. Race details, 45 laps, stage at lap 15. No cautions for cause. And they got about 55% of a fuel load with one fast repair. So, they got a little bit of a fallback. If that first chicane does reach out and bite them, they can get that thing fixed up. And the reduced fuel load means they will be hitting pit road a time or two. So just a little bit of added drama as that 809, the font that I could not figure out, holding inside through this corner and on the front row. I got to ask you, Corey, what are your predictions just based on, what you know of this track versus reality?
Well, do you want my, my commentator positive, everything is great, or do you want my reality?
I will go with reality.
I think a lot of guys are going to be in the grass, and it's going to be a race for survival. If you want me to give you the other version, I can do that too, but...
I think that this is going to be one of those that it's really going to be whoever can keep this car on the track the longest and keep it together is going to find themselves at the top of victory circle. Otherwise, a lot of guys are going to give us something impressive, and a lot of fast repairs get used tonight.
My other version is it's going to be a fabulous race. Everyone's going to be hard-nosed. We're going to have some great battling here on this very, very difficult track here, but the drivers are going to have fun, and they're going to show us some amazing skill and sportsmanship here across this 2-mile circuit. That's my other version.
Well, it could be both. We're going to get some sportsmanship, but there's probably going to be some cars in the grass. That's just, that's life. It kind of falls in the middle, column A, column B. But we are completing this pace lap after just a couple more corners, and we'll find out just how our predictions seem to go. The pace Porsche pulling ahead just a little bit onto that left-hand pit road. And it is going to be a fun night of racing underway. They're going to go under the bridge. Barney's got the green flag in his hand. And away they go. I believe the green flag has been waved. Nope, still pacing all the way down, all the way down. There we go. There's the green flag down into the chicane. Too wide all the way through the field. Nobody has any issues getting on the gears. No wheel spin anywhere. And onto the binders. Right-hander cutting that curb as close as he could get it. Probably a smart move, keeping himself safe from the cars behind. As you see them funnel through, no issues thus far. Really good start.
Yeah, Keaton Crothers getting that gap by about 3/4 of a second, and as I said, I think the survival skills already coming into play here. Al Corey, I think he has voluntarily put himself in last, maybe to run the slowest possible pace for his own safety's sake, but that 45 has already fell to the rear of the field. But we do have some tight nose racing here. Nerney and Zach Shaw. What is that? Clifford, the big red dog. That wasn't on my bingo card to see in the paint tonight.
I'm going to just oust myself. I watched Clifford a lot as a little kid, so it's kind of weird to see that on a race car. Wasn't expecting that. I didn't think people still knew about Clifford, so kind of cool to see. Everybody trying to just run their way through here and survive early on, which is easier said than done, as we all know here. But first lap is through and done, and I think everyone's pretty well made their way through. And let's see, up front, it is still Keaton Crothers. Gap half a second and still gaining as he goes through. 1.2 seconds, Ben Harcum behind the leader as they come through the chicane again. And yeah, they are just running up front there. Keaton Crothers, no wonder he sponsored this race. If you're going to sponsor one, it'd probably be the one that you feel like you're going to win.
Yeah, just look at that first lap out. Obviously, the first lap out's a little different, a little askew, but even on that first out lap, 0.6 of a second up on the field. And as you were talking about, Brad, a lot of disparities with the timings here. This is a very skill-oriented track, so everyone is in their own little gaggle, but there is a gaggle here outside of the top 10. You got Williams, you got Benson. This is all through the middle section of the track, the tightest section of Portland.
Very tough portion of the track. And one thing to keep in mind about our race leader, Keaton Crothers, he is looking for road course redemption. He was leading a lot of laps at the Charlotte Roval and had a little bit of late race chaos with pit stops and everything, getting everything kind of jumbled up. And he did not drive away with the checkered flag, but he definitely had the pace to do so, looking to fix that mistake tonight. Jeremy Brown behind him by about a second, not losing a whole lot, not really gaining either. Ben Harcum, Adam Shaw, Zachary Nerney also had a really good run going for himself at the Roval, if I recall. Mark Herzog in the 57 had some pace at the Roval. I believe something took him out towards the end, so he's also up here inside the top half of the field. But yeah, a lot of single file right now. Everybody's kind of racing themselves, I would say. They're not really focused on the other cars, just trying to hit their marks and do what they can. An early taker down pit road. This has got to be an unplanned stop. Something must be amiss for this driver, only on lap 3.
I don't see any triggers. I do have a trigger for Mr. Cam Kay in the Aflac automobile. Now, that's not him. Oh, there he goes.
That's a little bit of yard work.
That's
Nothing
the agricultural
serious
work I expected to see. No harm, no foul in terms of damaging the car, but just enough track position loss.
I didn't know Ford made lawnmowers.
Well, it would seem they do, and honestly, really good recovery there. I like how he stayed wide. He wasn't too worried about getting down on that pavement and getting in people's way. He kind of made sure that everybody was clear and free to get around and got back on the track. Got to kind of have that awareness. So back on track, lost some time, but he will have plenty of time to make it up. Lap 4 out of 45. It's going to be a bit of a long night here at Portland for these drivers, so they got to keep that energy up, keep focused as Keaton Crothers continues this 1 second lead that he has managed to kind of accrue and kind of stabilize at. A little bit of side-by-side action through the chicane, and we got a spinner. Oh,
that's
somebody's
Herzog.
going around.
You were just boasting about him, Dirt.
Yeah, that's the commentator's curse.
Let's take a look on our instant replay. That's Hopkins to his rear. but it was of no fault of Hopkins. He just, as our old pal, what's his face? Carlos would say, too much beans there.
Yeah.
Which, for those who don't
Not
understand, that
ideal.
means on the gas too hard. There's Emmert in the 405. He's in close proximity to. That is that? That's not Ben Harkham, is it? That looks
Is
like.
that Ben Harkham?
No, something wrong with my statistics here, because that's definitely. Not,
That is
That's Emmert.
Harmon.
That is Emmert you're riding
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. So. Do a quick check here.
Graphical issues here at Portland. The road course not just biting the drivers, but biting the broadcasters as well, as we try to get that sorted out. Into the chicane they go, though. The 405 going to take the points out. Oh, no, behind him.
That's
There goes the
Harkham.
78
We
machine.
were just talking about Harkham. That is Harkham.
We were looking for him,
Oh,
and we found him.
he just he tried to
Too much
Watkins
curb.
Glen the entry there.
Way too much curb there coming through, and car very clearly. You can handle curb to a degree in these cars, but when you're trying to full-blown cut the curb, and as you said, Corey, Watkins Glen it doesn't work like that. Thankfully, he's back on track and going, but not going to want to do that one again.
Yeah, he definitely these next gen cars, as low to the track as they are, they're not ideal when it comes to curb hopping like that. So obviously he'll have to pay the price for that, but you know, the reprieve that these drivers get, guys, is that 10 laps from now, we will be behind the pace car, and that'll be the only time you get a reprieve here today, but gives you a chance to get that time back you may have lost from a mistake.
Yeah, they got plenty of time to try and recover, and it's a road course, so you know you're going to see a lot of differences in pace. And if you're somebody who knows this place, you feel comfortable. If you make a mistake early on, eventually you're going to work your way back up through the grid. And luckily for a lot of these guys, if they're looking for a good championship points result, having a bit of a condensed field means that even if you have a bad night, the lowest you can go is 18th. So they're kind of saved in that regard. Another car off track. There's some lawn work. Not quite able to make out who that was. It was a red and white car looking for somebody going down the pylon.
Oh, I think that's Benson. Yep, there it is.
Yeah.
Take a gander here at the number 42. The
Just a
curb.
little bit.
Some of the curbs.
And that was a weird one, Corey, because, I mean, he barely tapped that curb, and it just completely pulled him around.
Yeah, that curb there is, I just got a little track map here on the screen. I forgot I had it in the old repertoire here. Just gives you a little proximity as to how separated these drivers are across the raceway. But yeah, a lot of these curbs, there's different types of curbs, guys. There's the ripple curbs, which they're the ones that basically make your teeth grind away. But then there's also just the big, and I don't know the exact name of them, but they're the tall, round curbs, and I think that's the one he got sideways on. It kind of lifted that car in the air, and it's got him sideways as Dominic Zanobi having some agricultural issues in the Crown Royal Camry.
Sometimes you just gotta mow the grass, get things going. Let's see here what happened, and looks like just a little bit too much there going through. Lost a bit of grip in the rear end, asking a bit more than the car can have. Actually, I'll correct myself on that. He got a little upset on the curbs, tried to correct it, didn't catch it, and then from that point on, he was a passenger. He did good to keep it out of a wall or keep anything more serious from happening, but unfortunately, you know, he'll be paying for that one. Again, we have the stage coming up, lap 15, that'll give everyone a little bit of a break and help everyone kind of reset, figure out where they're at, what they're doing, and try to get set back up for the second half of the stage.
And that snap oversteer correction is an issue that this next-gen car has had on ovals and road courses pretty much from day one. It's got a lot of ground force. A lot of aerodynamic is coming from underneath the car, you know, running along the chassis of the car through the diffuser and everything. And when you take that away, it starts to immediately snap loose. The air is not going through the diffuser, and you're just along for the ride. It's almost like an Indy car. You know, you rarely see them bring an Indy car back around once they start to spin. Similar situation here. A little bit of a trigger here for the 48. Looks like just a little bit too hot into the corner. He's going to take a stop for the course cutting penalty and right back out on track. Luckily, nobody really around to have too many issues. And then another incident with the number 60. He's going way out there. He's looking for 4-leaf clovers or something because he is miles from the track. He's going to rejoin ahead of a couple of cars, but no harm, no foul. And hopefully that's the final trigger. Back to live scenes. And these guys giving us a lot of replays to watch. They are in Struggle City here at Portland.
Hey, it's not Struggle City. It's Rip City.
Hey, there we go.
But here's our battle tracker, second to first here, and look at that lap time variance, guys. 4/10 in the basket there for Jeremy Brown, and that gap now sub 1 second. I do know that lap times do degrade with the tires now here in the next gen on the road courses. Back in the day, you could literally run a 500 lap race and not lose a tenth, but the tires will fall off, and we're at that point now where if you did come out of the gate too strong, you might start paying the price for it.
Yeah, it's one of those, again, this car reminds me a lot of a GT4, GT3 style car in the way that there is some downforce to it, there is some run to it, but also in the way, the tires handle. Now, the Cup cars are a little bit more aggressive than I'd say, what we see on Wednesday nights where, you get to really see those guys rip through and elbows out. But, with these Cup cars, if you've got some experience driving the GT cars, you have a little bit of a know-how of how to sort of baby these tires along to a degree. As we watch here, William Emmer and Michael Hopkins that are putting on a good battle there for P5 as they come down the back end of the track. Checking back in here with the number 78, Ben Harkham getting around that 92, and Nicholas Steele, who's running really wide here through the back stretch, heading down towards turn 9 and 10. And, I think this is going to be kind of the story of the night. It's going to be guys sort of picking and choosing the battles where they can and playing the game of saving the tires and pushing just to the 92.
Kept it off the wall. No.
I don't see a lot of damage on the front of that thing. He might be all right.
Yeah.
I mean, they got a fast repair if he needs it, but I tell you what, I didn't see much.
Now let's take a gander.
I don't think he hit the wall, did he?
So he hit that. He went to the outside curb, and as soon as he went to the outside, he went over the outside curb. The left side's technically got in the grass. I think that was just enough to send him astray. Somehow
didn't get in the wall, though. Lucky for him. As we come through, check back in with our race leader, Keaton Crothers, who 0.7 of a second. I mean, he's not running away with this thing. He's being kept pretty honest at the moment with his run there from Jeremy Brown. Jeremy Brown just sort of sticking behind, staying close enough that if Keaton missteps, does anything wrong, Jeremy can capitalize here. But, Andre kind of watching through. It's going to be a tall ask, I think, for Keaton to misstep here. He seems like he really has this track under his belt.
Well, he does, but I think firing off the way that he did at the start of this race is kind of coming back to bite him. Like Corey mentioned, the tire wear is pretty significant at road courses now. Never used to be, but it is a factor they got to keep in mind. And this is a track where I could imagine it being a little easy to wear your tires off quicker than the next guy, because there's a lot of corners where you can really drive it in deep. There's a lot of corners where you're carrying a lot of speed. You're really getting up on that sidewall, wearing the tire down. Like this section right here, for example, the S's, they're in a bit of a 4-tire slide if they get going through there too quick. So if you're not focused on conservation, you're going to lose pace. And the nice thing about this track is there's a lot of passing zones. I mean, there's like 4 or 5 different parts of this track where realistically overtaking is possible. So if Jeremy Brown has been saving his tires, then he's got a real shot at it for this stage. But a little bit of smoke ahead. You did see just off the edge of the frame there, somebody went through the chicane and took their slowdown. I'm sure the leaders will be getting to them before too long. But it seems like that chicane, that is where Jeremy Brown is so quick. He gets right up to the bumper, and it's the second half of the lap, right at about this corner. Once they get to the faster portion of the racetrack, Keaton Crothers pulls away just a little bit. And we'll see if he's able to replicate that again this lap with those tires. But I tell you what, boys, I think we really do have a battle brewing for the stage win.
Yeah, I just saw the 35 go off track a little bit, but not enough to lose control of the car. But certainly the 46 going for the 3rd win of the season has the better run here. 15 laps for this stint. One thing we don't know, guys, is I imagine they're going to have to pit in the second segment of the race as well. So I assume there will be a tire change, but we don't actually have all that information. So that could be something of note for the second half of the race, short run versus long run pace with that potential pit stop. But Dominic Zanobi getting out of the way, going one lap down.
Oh. I don't know how the green flag stops will work out in the second stage. I'm kind of with you on that one, Corey. I know that they're going to have to be there, but it's going to be a case of just when do you take it, and do you opt 2 tires, 4 tires? It's going to be an interesting one to kind of watch how that strategy plays out. But and Andre, I know you alluded to this at the top of the broadcast. With that limited fuel load, it pretty well guarantees us a pit stop in the second stage. As the 78 there ducked 2 wheels in the grass and somehow kept it straight. Very, very good car control showing from him there as he's trying to get that car nice and under pace.
Yeah, it is especially difficult when you're dealing with a damaged car, and he does have, I think, a little bit of damage. It looks like maybe that's just the paint scheme, but it looks like the front end is beat in a little bit. I might just be seeing things, but good car control, and luckily, no, I think that was just the paint scheme. The paint scheme's kind of throwing me off. A lot of details going on there. That is a Bob Ross car if I've ever seen one. We're just adding details, and oh my goodness! Oh, I forgot. I've totally. You've been watching those, Corey.
Oh my God, the AI videos lately. Oh my God. I've seen Bob Barker reincarnated. I've seen Kobe Bryant reincarnated. I got ones to talk about off air, but I do have a cue here. This is in Texas. Is Naj who went off. Not a catastrophic issue. Actually, I think that was just intentional to get out of the way, but something nonetheless of interest. But this is the closest we've had a battle for the lead, and ironically enough, as Benson getting out of the way, these guys are just, we're not trying to get past, we're just completely going into the next state. We're going up into Washington State to evade the leaders here, but this is the closest we've seen. First half of the track, it went to Jeremy Brown, but it seems through the faster section that the advantage goes to Crothers.
This is going to be an interesting one to watch.
Go ahead, Brad. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. You're good. I was going to say this is going to be an interesting one to watch and kind of see how these two duel things out as they go. A lot of back and forth. I think there's a lot of just sort of tire thoughts that are going to be played for them as well, of just saving the tire. And if you watched F1 at COTA today, I mean, there was a lot of sort of save a tire here to push the tire there that went on then. So I almost feel like that's what Jeremy Brown is doing, is save a little bit of tire now to push a little bit of tire later.
Yeah, and it really is that second portion of the track, the back half of the lap, that Crothers really is able to extend that lead a little bit. And it makes sense because it's a faster part of the track. The tire wear maybe isn't going to matter quite as much because you're not getting on the brakes or getting on the throttle out of a low gear. So that's kind of showing he's got the track down, but maybe not the tire wear. Meanwhile, Jeremy Brown's going to have to get desperate with it. They only got a few corners left in the stage, and he's about 3 car lengths back. It's going to be tough to make up, if at all, especially in this part of the track where Crothers is. And that is one thing, you just saw it on the onboard. Crothers is cutting that little kink to the right so close. I mean, he is going over that curb, and he is just completely grazing the wall, it would seem. There is a caution, maybe the stage caution. Might have been waiting for the top 10 to cross the line.
But the leaders hadn't crossed the line. That was my confusion, but close enough. There wasn't going to be any major change of positions there for that. So that'll be Keaton Crothers, again, our race sponsor. And as far as I understand, he's going for the clean sweep. I think he was fastest in practice, fastest in qualifying, and thus far, fastest in the race. Got the stage. Only thing left is to get the overall checkered flag, but now we have our favorite thing in the world, guys, and I know you're getting used to this more on the Elbows Out broadcast. There, Brad, is full course road course cautions.
They are very different to what you may think of, especially if you're used to watching oval cautions. These full course road course cautions, say that 5 times fast. are very different and can catch you kind of off guard if you're not prepared for kind of how it happens. So they'll get the field scrunched up behind the Porsche safety car, as we'll call it since we're here in road. And they'll get the field scrunched up and then get things ready to go, get everyone through the pits, and then send it back green. Shouldn't take too long.
That's what we'll do is we'll have a word with our race sponsor, as we traditionally do, but we will let him do his pit stop first, because I don't want to be responsible for him not making the correct pit adjustments or overshooting or undershooting his pit box and making that mistake. I don't want to be held liable for that, so we'll let him do that first, have a brief word, and we do have our recap video to go over as well, but perhaps we'll find time to get all this stuff in here. Plenty of time left here in the Rip City 142. I don't even know what that is. Is that kilometers, I would imagine?
Yeah, that's kilometers.
Very seldom that we all have nothing to say.
I thought you were getting ready to have a word with your sponsor there, so I wasn't really saying anything. But yeah, these road course cautions, they do take a while to get everything sorted out. The leaders on the lead lap are going to be able to pit this time, and just like oval, it'll be lap cars down pit road next time. But this is going to be interesting because I think if Jeremy Brown is able to jump Keaton Crothers in the pits here, might be a tall order to get back around him because he's got that long run pace. Give him an open track as well. That could be quite dangerous for the rest of the field. But down into their stalls they go.
Somebody have an eggplant with water droplets coming off of it as their pit board?
Yes, they do. I saw it too. Wasn't going to say anything, but it's there.
Alrighty then. Well,
on that note, Brad, because you do better with interviews than me, I give you that one up on me. Let's have a word with our stage dude, winner dude, the guy.
So stage dude, winner dude, the guy, the sponsor of today's race, Keaton Crothers. Sir, good evening. How's it feel up front?
What's going on, guys? It feels pretty good, but I got Jeremy nipping at my heels there.
So, Keaton, I'm going to ask the $1 million question. How much practice have you put into Portland? Why are you so fast at this track? It's kind of impressive.
It's a new track. Just got ready for this race. So, done a little bit. Probably, I don't know, an hour?
Okay.
It's like he's like me in my heyday. It didn't take long to get good.
Yeah.
Do you have road experience, or do you have experience that I am not aware of?
I mostly do road stuff. That's what I've always done on iRacing since I've been on it for the first couple of years here. So this is my first oval league. So the oval's new to me. Mostly do road course. We drive mostly prototypes, endurance race stuff. So we got the Le Mans 24-hour next weekend. So yeah, no, mostly road course stuff for me.
Awesome, man. Well, I got to ask, what made you decide to sponsor this race of all the races? Was it just because it was a road course, or just what was available?
Yeah, I mean, somebody had to do it. This might be the least popular one of the season, so I figure it's a good one for me to take.
No, I think that's valid. And if you win this one, I'm not going to say you're going to, but you seem like you and Jeremy Brown are having a good battle. If you win this one, of course, it locks you into the championship. So what will be your game plan for the rest of the season, especially trying to gun for a championship win?
Well, it takes the stress out of it, that's for sure. But yeah, no, they just go have some fun. Trying to get a few more wins, but gotta get the job done here tonight.
All right, man. Well, good luck with it. Are we expecting green flag pit stops during this second run? We didn't get any insider info, but I'm guessing based on fuel load, yes?
Yeah, I think we're going to need one. It's going to need a splash here.
All right. Well, Keaton, good luck with it, man. We'll let you take things around this final pace lap, and maybe we'll talk to you again later.
Hopefully. See you guys.
Yep.
All right. See you, man.
Sponsoring the least popular race of the year. That's a bold strategy. Generally, sponsors try to sponsor popular things, but, whatever anybody else is doing, you got to do the opposite. You got to try to stand out.
Yeah, man.
I think it's valid. I mean,
was going to say, he said something pretty interesting, that he said that they're only really going to need a splash of fuel. So we were talking about tire wear and stuff. Is it going to be worth it now to take tires if really all you need is a gallon or two to finish this thing? So maybe that'll just be what somebody needs to, gain some positions.
Yeah.
It could be, and I'm looking at the track map. This place is a little bit Watkins Glen-esque in that a lot of the heavy corners are to the right. I'm not saying 2 tires would be a good strategy, but if I was feeling crazy and desperate enough, maybe, because the tire wear really does slow these lap times down by a second or two. So if you could just get 2, extend your stop by a couple seconds, and then get out and away, maybe. You never really know. And if somebody a little bit further back takes 4 just to see, that'll be fun to watch as well. But I think these leaders, it's a no-brainer, right? You don't take tires, even if you are really wearing those tires down, you're not going as quick as you want to. You take that splash of gas and you go, because it's probably going to be right at the end of the stage as well. So there won't be too many laps, or end of the race. So there won't be too many laps to try to make that time back up, unless you pit very early, which again, you'd have to kind of split it in the middle. I don't know. It's their call. Hopefully they got some good crew chiefs up on the box making the calls, but it's going to be another battle here for the lead between these 2 drivers, Crothers and Brown. Pace car about to pull off. Put it in your hands, Brad.
Pace car's going to pull off, and watch out for P3 there, Mr. Elbows Out of Zach Nerney, who runs GT3s as we go green here, and you can see everybody very quickly diving through. Brown's going to try to dive there behind Crothers. Nerney's in the mix as well. Watch out for Michael Hopkins. Late break, Danny Ricciardo style going through, moving it all the way up. Emmert's going to run. Clifford the Big Red Dot, and Nerney is around. Parked in the middle of the track. We've got chaos. Emmert, Hopkins hit each other, but Nerney, the biggest loss of it all, spins it out in the first chicane.
Yeah, and you were just boasting about him, saying watch out, and I think he must have heard you, and he Bamba Smith say he didn't shine bright when the moment was best, or whatever that verbiage was. But yeah, Nerney, good, he doesn't have a reprieve now, so now he's running 14 seconds back. The only positions he's going to gain are on attrition or just pure merit and speed. So that's the mistakes you don't want to make, but it is what it is. But here we go. Herzog, remember, he made a mistake earlier. Is he looking to the outside of Emmert, because the outside through this bend is the inside through the next kink, but he'll pull back in line for the time being. And I see some side-by-side. Who was that? That was Harcum getting by Clifford, a.k.a. Shaw.
Yeah, Harcum had a mistake himself earlier in the initial corner. That first chicane, he got turned around.
Just made a mistake there.
That caution brought him back to the land of the living. Take a look at the instant replay, though. A little bit of a bobble. Goes off the track, just narrowly avoids the tire barrier there on the outside. That was a really close call. I thought I noticed that on live scenes. But oh boy. Speaking of live scenes, somebody spun around backwards.
That's Herzog. Every time Herzog, we give him credit. He can't take the credit.
He got a few wallops there. I think a couple cars were not able to get around him.
I got one. Mark Herzog needs to start plagiarizing, because he can't take credit.
Yeah, there's a hit right there.
Yeah, dead center, middle of the racetrack. But every time we say something positive about Mark Herzog, issues came aplenty, and he has taken it behind the wall. Cam Kane and Al Corey have also retired, so that leaves 3 out of the race. I was just going to say Tech still cruising along and off the circuit. Benson off the lead lap as well, but still chugging along, showing that what's that word? Sportsmanship, I think I was talking about earlier. Even if you're not having fun, even if you're struggling, just putting forth a good effort to finish the race. You got to respect that.
A big fan of it personally. I think that's one of the things that a lot of drivers don't do that I wish we would see more of. Is that's Jeremy Brown around.
Jeremy.
No!
That was
the one man who seemed to be able to contend with our race leader. Second place going through the chicane. Is it just going to be too much curb? Is it the same old song and dance?
Nope, that's just too much gas.
Too much beans, and we've seen so many drivers do this race, and unfortunately, that may be all she wrote. That's a gap that's going to be really difficult to overcome for that driver. Now a huge lead for Keaton Crothers. If you look at that mini map, he is on the back end of that sweeper before these second-place drivers even get to the entrance. So he is just gone and away now, no challenge. Michael Hopkins a little bit further back. Our ticker is having some issues. We are going to try to fix
jeepers.
that, but if you look at the, the mini-map, that tells the story better than numbers ever could.
Yeah, I don't know who needs to look at numbers. I don't, but I can look at gaps and pretty well gauge. Big gap, not lock catch. So Hopkins, Emmert, small gap, that's going to be a good battle here to battle it out for P. But I'm going to go ahead and argue right now. Crothers has dropped the hammer and has taken off there for P1. Let's see what Emmert can do here in the battle with Hopkins for P2. This is going to be where things, I think, start to get a little bit spicier. And I don't know if spicy goes with ice cream, so we'll see what happens here. Maybe hot is the word. No, because in your ice cream, I don't know. Somebody come up with a good word there. I don't have it right now.
I was focused on back end stuff. I just heard spicy ice cream, so I really don't have a comment to that. But I do have a comment to this. Nerney trying to work himself back to the field. He's up to the top 10, and he sees some coffee in front of him, and he wants to pass said coffee. That is Donald Risteau, who is doing a good job chugging through here. Hasn't really garnered our attention too much, but that usually means he hasn't screwed up too many times, so that's a good thing. And he just gets out of the way and says, Nerney, go have fun with it, bro.
Yeah, it was an easy pass for Nerney. He kind of gave it to him there. And I understand why. The pace that Nerney is showing after that spin, he is on a mission. I don't think he's going to be able to get back up the leader by any means, but if you look at the timing, he's got realistically 4 or 5 more cars within range by the end of this race. Maybe more than that, depending on the lap times. There is last lap time. Zachary Nerney with a 1:15. The car ahead ran a 1:18. That might have been a bobble lap. Then you get a couple of faster cars up ahead. 1:14, Nicholas Deal, Adam Shaw, 1:13.5, 1:13.3 for Harcum. Jeremy Brown, after his spin all the way back to 4th, 1:13.2. And then look at William Emmert. That man is in a Starship, a 14-second lap here at Portland. What a feat.
Absolutely. Here, maybe turning this 2-mile track into about 1.1, some smaller version of units. I don't know. I'm trying to manage other things here, so my brain's not quite functioning normally, which one would question, does it ever? But Keaton Crothers, I mean, well, let's pause that thought because we have another spin.
Number 78, Ben Harcum. What happened to him here going back into a quick instant replay? And, well, weeble wobble and a little bit of yard work, a little bit of back, forth to fro.
Clifford.
I almost would argue that he let off the brakes on purpose there to get off track and stay out of
let's
traffic's way, which...
I mean, we got time. There's not much going on. Let's take a look from Clifford.
Let's see, the big red dog coming through, a little bit of a wiggle waggle, the tail wigs, the tail wags, but it was Harcum with the big wig wag up ahead.
He gunned it to get off the track. Oh, and just as we're watching that, I thought I just saw... Well, no, I thought I saw Michael Hopkins. Yeah, Michael Hopkins had a minor issue.
Never ideal.
That would be good if it was the final lap and you won the race. That was a nice little celebratory slide. Matt Kenseth kind of patented that move, but unfortunately those circumstances were not met.
Yeah, that was, again, the trouble turn. Turn 1, reaching out to hug these guys at every opportunity. That did give another position to Jeremy Brown, so he's now back up on the podium, and he is trying to move 1:12.982, but the leader ran a 1:12.8, so not reeling him in. As a little bit of contact there, that is Zach Nerney on Ben Harcum. Nerney is another man on a mission. He is just passing him left and right, maybe giving him the muscle if he has to, like right there, bit of tire smoke, and luckily here on iRacing you can't cut your tire down, but that would be a concern otherwise. As they work their way through the S's, he's going to continue to pull away. Next car up the road for Zachary Nerney is going to be Nicholas Deal. It's about 5, and again, just going a little bit wide, nearly getting that tire barrier.
Yeah, that they've almost turned that into a groove.
First turn and last turn are the dangerous ones here.
Yep, here comes Harcum. I thought he was going to send it on in there, but he kind of decided not here, not at this time, and on the loud pedal, exiting that chicane. There is a layout here at Portland where you can evade the chicane. Some drivers I don't know. I've never actually run it, but it would turn this place a lot faster. But one thing that we do have to do is go over a summation of what happened last week at Las Vegas. We'll go side by side. You'll get your race recap from Las Vegas, and we'll be back with you in a jiffy. October 14th, 2025 brought the triple bypass Nichols Oil Pros Series to Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the Tex Nichols ODB Birthday Bash 115. Under the bright Nevada lights, 115 laps around the 1.5 mile speedway produced fast wheel-to-wheel action with 7 leaders, 9 lead changes, and 7 cautions covering 21 laps. The race was broadcast live on YouTube by Primetime Racing TV, with Corey and Brad bringing you the action. When the final lap came around, it was Jeremy Brown in the number 46 car taking home the win. Brown started third, led 24 laps, and collected 52 total points, including 10 stage points and a pair of bonus points. His car came alive on the long runs, and he controlled the closing laps with confidence to secure the victory. Steve McClendon brought his number 51 home in second after charging forward from 10th on the grid. He led 11 laps, scored 35 points, keeping his strong season rolling and still looking for that first win. Zach Nerney delivered a standout performance, finishing third, steering his number 36 from 29th to the podium with a clean, methodical drive that earned him 34 points. Nicholas Deal finished fourth in the number 92, while Dylan Freeman rounded out the top 5 in the number 31 Avril Lavigne machine, both maintaining steady pace through the long green flag stretches. The fastest lap of the race belonged to Kyle Gresh with a 28.4 second lap on number 68. Jeremy Brown earns full honors as the night's winner, mastering the intermediate oval and celebrating with the number 46 team in victory lane. Congrats on a commanding performance in the Tex Nichols ODB Birthday Bash 115. We hope you enjoyed this triple bypass Nickel Oil Pros Series recap. We'll see you next time. All right, we are back after that race recap of the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. That is not an AI, Corey. I actually did the help of the voiceovering, which was the best use of English that I've ever had in my life. But you're watching the Nichols. Did it again. Nichols Oil Pros. Isn't that what it is? Nichols Oil
Yes.
Pros. There. If you're gonna screenshot this to me, Al, screenshot this one that's correct. The Nichols Oil Pros Cup Series from Portland International Raceway, the Rip City 142. That is the event. In the broadcasting booth, the commentary box. It's myself, Corey Silva. I got Brad Dutton and Andre Grombush here for the commentary, mates.
Yeah, I don't know where the accent. At first, you were alliterating everything like your Microsoft Sam, and then you turned into Howie somewhere along the line. So interesting, but
I don't even know if I'd say he turned into Howie. Howie's a little bit more of an American accent than that. Like, he went full blown. Oh God, I don't even know who you just turned full blown into, but it was somebody.
Well, Brad, don't I have? I mean, there's a race coming up in a few weeks, actually, where, from what I've been told, it is a British
you better be perfecting that accent.
Yeah. What about you? Are you part of that too? But we do have.
No.
No, you're not. Anywho, we do have some pit stops here that have become aplenty. Nicholas Deal, remember, he is our T-shirt recipient here on the evening, come into the pits. And as Crothers did tell us they don't need much, 6 seconds of fuel. We didn't see a jack go up, so certainly no tires there. Emmer did also pit, and he only pit for 4 seconds. So the fall off that we're seeing, well, first off, it's not that much, because look at up front with Crothers. He's only half a second off of his best time. So clearly not enough fall off to warrant changing tires.
No, and I think Keaton probably learned a little something from that first stint. He really burned off those tires, and he was really pushing the car. But in this stint, he's not really had a reason to push. After Jeremy Brown got turned around, he kind of had no pressure, no reason to overdrive the car, just able to kind of hit his marks, slow down the pace a little bit, and I think that is allowing him to run these faster lap times deeper into the run. A little bit of lap traffic here. No blue flags in NASCAR. They are informational only, but he is going to get, well, no, not quite going to get around Tex Nichols, our League Series sponsor, Nichols Oil Pros. See, that's not that hardcore, but he's going to get around him and put him one more down. And I will say this, though, boys. Jeremy Brown is gaining, little by little, 10th here, 10th there. Maybe not enough to get to him by the end of the race, but don't count him out quite yet.
I think it's just patience at this point for Jeremy Brown going through. I don't think he's in a bad spot at all, but 7.7 seconds with 16 laps to go. I mean, you're asking for it. It's, I don't know, it's give and take here, I think, is where it's going to be. As soon as I say something, the gap jumps to 8.5 seconds here. So depending on where you look on the track, Jeremy Brown has pace.
Yeah, it seems as though he has the slower section. I think he has the first segment of the track, and then once you get to the bend, which is I think around turn 5-ish, once you start headed towards that back straightaway at the back end of the lap, that seems to be where Crothers extends it. So slower corners Brown, faster corners Crothers.
Yeah, I would say that sums it up, and you can watch the gap kind of fluctuate. You know, it closes in the slower corners, and Jeremy Brown does gain a little bit, but they get to this part of the track where the corners are a little bit more sweeping, a little bit more momentum carry, and that is where Crothers pulls away again. So Michael Hopkins, P3, he's 15 seconds back. Zachary Nerney on the recovery tour, all the way back up to 4th. He was down to like 15th after his initial spin, and he is just all the way back up to P4, about 10 seconds behind Michael Hopkins, but with 15 laps to go, depending on his pace, maybe going to try to get on the podium. I don't know. A little bit of a long shot, but hey, we like long shots here at BTR TV, so we'll keep an eye on that. But for the most part, everything very single file. I think these drivers are finally starting to get that first corner down. We haven't had a spin there in a while, so it makes you think maybe if they had practiced a little bit more, before the race, we wouldn't have these single car spins. Got to take her down pit road. Somebody getting that car serviced. That is Tex 2 laps down. Still not entirely certain what happened to Al Corey. He came down pit road lap 2 and immediately took it behind the wall. Yeah. So he joins the ranks of Cameron Kane, John Crutchley, Mark Herzog, all out of the race. Got a bit of a flag here. The Folgers instant coffee
spilt it.
Has spilled all over. Jinx, you owe me you owe me a soda.
Did we watch Nicholas Deal have an issue about a little bit ago?
No, he was. Well, yes, we did. He was in the corner of the frame.
Now I'm getting a trigger. All right, so never mind. I think the overlays have thought that Tex screwed up by exiting the pits. That is a bug that has never stopped becoming a bug, but Tex didn't do anything wrong there. So trying to see if there was anything that happened. But yeah, Al Corey, he dropped to the back of the pack. I didn't see really anything happen to him, but I think he just maybe said, yeah, not for me, and pulled it on in. But here comes Ristow in, here comes Benson in. And again, we do want to just point out for those who may be joining in late, Keaton Crothers is also the race sponsor here, helped put on today's broadcast. Again, this is all a donation-funded league. They also have a Patreon, so drivers pick which races they want to sponsor, and per his interview, this was one of the few that was left, so he did it for the team, and we got to give our shout out to him. If you're curious where we are next week, following the real life calendar, we're going to be heading to Martinsville next week for 185 laps. So that ought to be a good one. And then we wrap it up at the Tricky Triangle November 2nd. That will conclude our regular season. That puts us into our 3-race playoff. Pocono is the race where I allegedly have to learn a British accent and do it for, I think I was told, the whole broadcast, but we'll see what happens there.
It'll be interesting to see if you can do a British accent the whole broadcast. I don't think it's impossible. I think it's just going to be...
I don't have enough, like, euphemisms. Like, you know, Dylan Freeman would always say, "Why'd you stop roasting my Avril Lavigne car?" It's like, I ran out of jokes. I mean, I could say... I could hear, "Let's go to the burger bar, or fancy a trip to the chip shop," and, you know, I could do that, but after that, I got nothing, in the words of Darius Rucker. I got nothing.
All right, I'll tell you what we need to do. We're going to sit you down. We're going to watch Doctor Who from the 9th Doctor up to the 12th Doctor. We'll stop there. It's all bad after that. But I think you'll get enough British information to carry you through Pocono.
I mean, I've watched enough Kitchen Nightmares. I can start cursing and calling everybody an idiot sandwich, but I don't know if that will pass the league test.
I know what you should watch. You should watch the Great British Bake Off. If Kitchen Nightmares is your lingo, Great British Bake Off, that might give it to you.
Never heard of it, but, you know, I'll take it. Oh.
What?
No?
All right. Well, we're going to start hosting a PTR TV watch night where we watch Great British Bake Off, I guess.
It's only a matter of time before we start bantering.
You two have fun.
I'll be playing NASCAR 25, but by the way,
NASCAR 25 and learn to bake.
By the way, I have been trying to see, is there any plausible way to broadcast NASCAR 25? And I have
no.
Yeah, that's the reason I came to. So I was going to see if PTR TV could expand somebody off circuit.
Parkham tried to park him again, I think, and somebody else went off track.
Was it Tex?
Oh, Tex goes around, yep.
Ouch.
Oh, no bueno. Dead center, middle of the track. Risto had to go off the circuit to evade. But again, you got to give credit where credit is due, and we're not giving credit to their road course prowess, but we're giving credit to the staying on the track, but we're giving credit to the sportsmanship. Again, is Tex having fun now? Maybe he is. Maybe, because he's one of those people who's learning something and trying something new, and some people do find entertainment in that. He also could be, he also could just be, is this over yet? Is this over yet? But regardless of that, he's, at least at the time of this recording, intending to finish this race, which, again, you have to give props to drivers who do that.
I love it when a driver pushes through, Andre. I don't know about you.
It is nice to see. You know, a lot of leagues go to these road courses, and we do see a condensed field tonight. A lot of drivers don't even want to show up. They don't even want to try it.
By the track.
Or they do show up, they have one issue, and then they immediately just disconnect because they realize, hey, I'm not going to be very competitive. But some drivers, they stick with it. You know, they may not be the fastest. Maybe they don't know a whole lot about road course racing, but you're not going to learn and you're not going to improve if you're not here actually racing. And so Tex probably is learning something and having some fun. Same with all these guys. Donald Ristow, I'm going to assume, Ristow, Daniel Williams, Jason Benson. These guys are a couple laps down, but they have stuck with it. And, oh, my goodness. Talk about coming in hot. What was that line? What do you call that?
That's a joker lap, but I think he's going slow enough that he's going to clear the penalty just by running at his natural pace. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm just purely factual there. Obi-Wan Zenobi coming into the pits. Again, we are 9 laps to go, so 9 seconds up front, nearly 10 seconds now for Crothers over Brown. I guess really the only thing outside of a rare mistake for Crothers would be maybe he takes 4 tires, or I'm trying to come up with some kind of plausible way that he loses this race, but here comes Hopkins in out of 3rd.
Don't have a good answer for how he could lose this race, to be honest with you. He is doing a absolutely beautiful job of keeping that thing together. So let's just see what he can do here to the end. 9.2 seconds. Again, it's fluctuating a little bit depending where they're at on the track, but still having a good time. Hopkins here getting some fuel, about half the fuel to lap down at least right now. That's still running. Let's just see how this goes. Nerney has found his way up to P3 here with Hopkins pitting. Be curious to see if Nerney can now save enough fuel to go through. And Andre, you and me he watched Nerney save fuel on the Roval and literally coast across the line. I talked to him after that race, and he ran out of fuel through NASCAR Turn 3 at the Roval. So, and he coasted it all the way to the end. I wouldn't be surprised to watch Nerney try to save some fuel here to make it to the end.
Yeah, you know, he does seem to be prone
This
to
is
fuel saving.
this is a live battle.
Yeah, that was, well, I wouldn't really call it a battle. That was Clifford the Big Red Dog going for a, let's say a potty walk down through the grass, just getting back on track now. A little bit worse for wear. No damage, but lost a lot of time to the 405 machine.
Oh!
And down pit road, the number 30 tried to get down to the pits, but he got sideways. Zachary Nerney not going to be doing any fuel saving, so scratch that. He's down pit road. Here comes Clifford, and oh my goodness. Barely getting through the 30, trying to get turned
I figured
around.
he was going to pit, but looking at the back
No.
end, no, he didn't already pit. So let's just take a quick gander outdoors.
He might have been worried that he slid past the commitment cone. That's why he didn't come down pit road. I don't know where the commitment line is.
I think it's in the wall there. So
Yeah, he would have made it. I don't know why he stayed on track. At that point, you might as well take the stop.
again, doing donuts here. We've seen so many victory celebrations done in false context here today. But back to live footage here and staying out one more time. And yeah, you have to cut that whole corner. We've seen a couple drivers spin out from it. You know, we talk about Watkins Glen entering the bus stop, cutting the entire curb. Actually, no, Jeremy Brown, he's staying basically on the traditional line. And then to go back to third, you have to go about 3/4 of a lap in the rears. I was going to do like a 1, 2, 3. What line is each one of these drivers taking? But he's that far back. All right.
He is quite far back. But yeah, I think in the case of Jeremy Brown, the reason he's not completely cutting that corner is just because he made that mistake earlier. He tried to cut it completely. It spun him around, cost him a chance at winning this race. And now he probably just wants to minimize the damage. He realizes, hey, I'm probably not going to run down Keaton Brothers. So I need to just make sure that I keep second place. He can kind of run the suboptimal lines and still have a good run, and that's what he's doing. So third place, William Emmert, 40 seconds back from the leader as he works his way through traffic, but only to come down pit road. Here comes Keaton Crothers. Will Jeremy Brown join him this lap? We're going to find out in about 5 seconds. All the way down pit road, he's got stall number 1, and Jeremy Brown, he's going to put a lap lead on the board, I do believe. He'll get ahead of him before the start-finish line. And that is going to be one in the books for the 46. He comes down into this chicane. Now, Corey, I don't know if Jeremy Brown is a betting man, but do you think maybe he's been trying to conserve? Do you think maybe he's going to try to make it to the end somehow or another? Because that really would be his only chance.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to go back into my racing brain here. It's about 14 seconds to fill a fuel tank here on iRacing. So and that's, what is it, a 19-gallon tank? So what would 4 seconds of fuel be? That'd be a ratio of that, 3 gallons? I'm just loosely doing quick math. Can you save 3 gallons of fuel on a road course? I would be hard-pressed to believe, but, you know, my famous Kevin Garnett 2007 quote, anything is possible, except even if it isn't. So we'll see. He is, even after the pit stop, 15 seconds behind is Crothers. And here's the interesting time. Our pit lane time. Cone to cone, including the stop, 30 seconds. So even after the pit stop, he's only 14 seconds off the lead.
And he is cooking. He is closed in. Well, now I believe Jeremy Brown's coming down pits, but before Jeremy Brown decided to come down pit road.
Whoa!
Oh, no! Did Crothers get a penalty? He might have been speeding. Oh my goodness.
No!
What is happening
So if you
here?
speed,
it could be a drive-through.
So for those who don't know, on iRacing, if you speed entering the pits, it is a 40-second hold. If you speed exiting the pits, usually it's a drive-through. But he's pitting. Did he not take enough
fuel?
He's putting tires on. Why?
What is going on? Absolute catastrophe.
We are about 2.5 up, and he's holding. So worse for wear. He got the penalty and he accidentally took tires in the process. It's not Christmas if you're watching this live, but 2.5 months early. But Jeremy Brown, Merry Christmas. You just got handed a race on a silver platter as long as you don't drop it.
Well, he's got to keep his eye on William Emmert, because these last few laps, I think Emmert's actually been a little bit quicker in pace. So we'll have to wait and see if this battle develops. But either way, 5 laps to go, 5-second gap. That's going to be really tough to close up. I think if Jeremy Brown just hits his marks, he does what he needs to do, then he is looking good. That is the... Oh, go ahead.
That was the pit times there. 54.6 was Crothers, and Risto also presumably had a penalty as well.
Absolute disaster for Crothers. This was going to be a guaranteed race win. Corey, I understand why he would speed. I don't know why he was even close to the pit road speed limit. He had a 10-second lead over second place when he came down pit road. Absolutely no reason to be pushing the limits.
So what I'm trying to figure out there.
Whoa.
So I always thought that it was a drive-through penalty for... No, there's the drive-through is for incidents. No, that's for incidents. It must be a stop and hold, but I think the mistake on his part was taking the tires. That would have saved him about 20 seconds. Probably would have had him instead of 7th, probably 5th if he didn't take the tires. But, now he just has a little bit more grip. But, man, I'm just trying... just go back into the heartbreak bank of drivers who had races won. You can go back in the real world. I could name 5 or 6 races Jeff Gordon should have won that he led hundreds of laps in. And it's when they go this way, you have a hard time swallowing that pill.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing if it's a really close battle, you make a mistake on pit road, trying to keep the advantage. But when you had a 10-second lead,
self-induced
and there was
mistake.
No reason to be that greedy, yeah, that's a tough one to swallow, and that's one you're going to be thinking about for a long time. Everybody wants to win the race that they themselves sponsor, but it seems to be, at least in my experience in iRacing, kind of a curse. I very rarely see people who sponsor a race win that race, even if they had race-winning pace. It seems like this kind of thing happens quite a bit, so maybe the iRacing gods kind of doing their thing.
I know, Derek, you'll remember this one. Remember back at where our Ricky Rudd quote came from, our famous Ricky Rudd Save of the Race Award, which is not applicable to anybody in this race, by the way.
Oh, a bad night gets worse. Crothers off the track.
But that was when Chevy sponsored the race, the Chevy Monte Carlo 400, and first year Ford wins it. I mean, the Coke 04, Coke sponsored a whole bunch of races, and then a Pepsi car wins the race. The worst that you can do is try to put yourself in the spotlight there. But we're coming to 2 laps to go. 4-second lead. Let's just fake some drama. 0.7 of a second faster last time around for Emmert. But 4 seconds. It's going to take a mistake, which we now know. We've seen Jeremy Brown make a mistake, so anything's possible.
It is, and I just got word that Brad is back at the keyboard. So just to fill you in, Brad, I don't know if you saw this, but race leader Keaton Crothers, big story, pit road penalty. Had to come back down, took 4 tires, sat in his stall. He is now a lap down.
I didn't see it, but I heard it, and I know that y'all couldn't hear my reaction.
Hold on. Jeremy Brown has disconnected from the world.
No.
Wait, he's back. That was a long warp. And Emmert just agricultural times about 6,000 there. There's a drift.
All right.
Nobody wants to win this race.
Literally,
bro. He didn't even try to make that corner. That was probably a huge slowdown penalty.
This is y'all couldn't hear my reaction whenever I heard what happened to Keaton Crothers. So I will tell you right now, the benefit of wireless headphones was I heard what was happening. You couldn't hear my reaction, though, unfortunately. Emmert's now lost the place to Hopkins. Wow. Okay. Nobody wants to win this race. Hopkins just sailed by like he wasn't even there. Is Emmert nursing an issue? Surely not. Maybe he just wants to make this interesting for the final lap.
Yeah, but it is the final lap sponsored by, we don't have a final lap sponsor here, Jeremy Brown. Remember last week's race that is slightly going away from my brain. I do remember it did end in a little bit of controversy there. He had some contact to be made and caused the driver to go around, and didn't end that on the note that he wanted to, and had some speed, put himself in a position where maybe, just maybe, he could have fought on pure merit for the race, but that wasn't to be had. He made his own mistakes, and what happened? Karma took its ugly hand, and it actually worked in his favor. Ran in second, got the beneficiary of a mistake by the race dominator, and he's going to take the present. It was put on a silver platter. He's going to wrap it up and serve it. Jeremy Brown comes off the final corner. He's going to take the gift, and take the present, and take the checkered flag here at Portland. And what's going on here? Hopkins took second and then gave it back up. Well, Emmert took second Mac and then gave it back up. Not sure if there was a time penalty or something. But Zach Nerney coming in fourth.
William Emmert got a black flag at the end of the race. For something.
Keaton Crothers did pull. He ended up not finishing this race on the track. He will be probably scored 8th or 9th, but everybody else finishing this thing through. But yeah, Jeremy Brown, what's his final take on the day? 6 laps. And, I mean, guys, I know you weren't here last week, Dirt, but Brad, you were. Jeremy Brown wasn't necessarily happy about how he won last week. I have to feel like he's not going to be happy about how he won this week either. But he still won, so that's all that matters.
I mean, yeah, like that's another win on his season. Last week he was extremely apologetic. After his incident, he straight up said, you know, I don't want to win in that way. That's not what I wanted to happen. I got some apologies to hand out. And I mean, this week, it's just, I don't want to call it blind dumb luck. And I don't want to say Jeremy Brown didn't deserve the win, because doggone, he's a good racer. But wow, I mean, that would have been a hard-fought fight to the end for him, and I'm sure even Jeremy Brown would admit that, but golly, okay, that was interesting. Indeed the case here, and now he's trying to damage the car up so it passes Tech. I see what your game is here, bro.
Yeah. The old Chad Canal strategy. Make sure you hit the rear end of the car.
Well, let's go over our final rundown of results here from Portland. Jeremy Brown gets it by 11 seconds over Hopkins. Zach Nerney, not on my bingo card to interview him, though, with the way that his race started, but that'll be the case. Clifford the Red Dog in 4th. We got Emmert in 5th. Nicholas Deal in 6th. Matt Harmon, Keaton Crothers, Obi-Wan Zenobi in 9th, and then Donald Ristow in 10th. Hand it off to you, Dirt, for the final however many.
Jason Benson going to bring it home 2 laps down, P11. Daniel Williams going to be at P12. Tex Nichols, the series sponsor, going to be P13. Ben Harcum had a difficult night. Those incidents really stacked up, P14. Mark Herzog also struggling early on, P15. John Crutchley, Cameron Kane, and Al Corey decide he had enough after about 2 laps. So he will be P18 on the night, shotgun of the field. And now, as we try to line up some interviews, what a turn of events. I mean, we were sitting here thinking that, you know, we knew how this race was going to end. Brad himself said, I can't think of a way. It's your fault, Brad. You said, I can't think of a way that Crothers could lose this race. Yeah. Well, there it is.
You know what? Yeah, I'll take that one. That's 100% on me. Of all the things I could have said.
Exactly that. But let's start our post-race show here. I'll go right up to the top. And Jeremy, well, you won last week. We talked about this on your cooldown lap. You won last week, and you weren't too happy about it because I know it didn't go the way you'd like, but you got the win. And here today, you just got one on a silver platter gifted to you, and you didn't drop the plate. So 2 wins back-to-back in interesting manner. How do you compute what just happened, and how you feeling about it?
First off, can you hear me?
Oh, perfect. Loud and clear, boss.
All right. I remember last week that we had a little snafu there in the beginning. I don't know what happened to Keaton. He was clearly the class of the field. I saw him coming back into pit road as I was pitting, and I knew he had trouble. But yeah, it was a shame. I messed up right after the stage, and I really, me and him were about the same pace. I was never going to pass him just because I don't have the road racecraft enough to do it. So I was perfectly fine riding behind him the whole race and just hoping he'd make a mistake and maybe I would get around him. But yeah, it's 2 in a row. And this is I want to say my first ever win on a road course in a league or anything like that. So you guys are good luck for me.
Yeah, we'll take it, man. So obviously a good time for you, trying to pad that playoff point situation with only 2 races left in the regular season. Next week, we head to the paperclip, 185 laps around Martinsville. You know, we call it the turkey, going 3 in a row. What's the confidence level in being able to pull it off there?
I love it. I love that track. Hopefully, all we got to do is stay out of trouble. You know, it's kind of like a restrictor plate race in some facet because you don't always control your own destiny there. Somebody misses a breaking point behind you and ends your day. But like I said, I love that place. It's a home track for me. Between there and Richmond, I kind of live right in between the 2 of them. So pick either one of them as a home track. But Martinsville's one of my favorite places on the service.
Well, there you go. It used to be my favorite track back in the day, but I forgot how to drive. So I ain't as good as you probably will be there, man. But we'll, again, congrats on what was handed to you. You had it gifted to you, but you didn't at the same time because, again, you showed speed and you gave him a run for his money in the first few laps. So you deserve the credit as well. Any final words before we let you go?
Yeah, just appreciate everybody at Triple Bypass for putting on a heck of a league here, man. These guys are class act, and you guys do a heck of a job every week. Even though I upset you last week, you had reason to be upset because I was upset as well. But yeah, just thank you everybody, and y'all have a great week.
You as well, man. Go enjoy it. All right, and now, I always leave Nerney for Brad. That's just kind of, boy best friend band there. But so we'll give dirt. I'll give you Mr. Hopkins, who, again, he was all over the place here today. He gets a second out of the deal.
Mr. Hopkins, get a copy?
I do. How's it going, guys?
Well, it's going pretty good in the booth. Seems like it was not going so well on the track for a lot of these boys. It was an up and down race, lots of incidents. You were up and down the running order, started P6, all the way up to second place with a last lap maneuver. Tell me a little bit about your race and just how it went overall.
Yeah, it was a crazy race. Had no time to practice. I woke up in Talladega with our series champion Steve and my car sponsor Nathan of Catamount Solutions there. Hustled home with like 15 minutes left. Got some good notes from Keaton. I know he led a lot of laps. I feel bad about his situation there. Shift points, basically got into practice, ran some practice, just tried to run clean. And I did not do that successfully, but sometimes it's not about what you do, it's about what others do too, right?
Yeah, if everybody else makes more mistakes, then you can afford to make a couple. So overall, you did have a really good race, and your lap times, when we were looking at everybody's times, were pretty much on par with the front runners. So you had the speed, you didn't make too many mistakes. It was definitely a well-earned podium. But I got to ask, how surprised were you on that last lap to see the driver ahead have those issues, and you're able to sneak out a second place right at the end?
Yeah, definitely. Towards the end of the race there, you kind of get resigned to where you're running, right? You're like, just try not to make a mistake. You see your gaps, and yeah, something kind of falls in your lap there. It's always a little bit of a shock right at the end.
That it is. Well, next week we will be going to, I believe, Martinsville. Tell me a little bit about your short track repertoire. How do you feel about going to the paperclip?
Always a little bit uneasy, just because it's pretty easy to get caught up in people's mistakes. We're all going to be on that track, kind of tightly bound up, and really just need to survive another weekend. Next weekend will be a lot of the same. Just try to survive, stay out of other people's mistakes, stay out of their way, and see how it all shakes out with a few laps left to go.
Fully agree. Going to be a game of survival. We're going to let you celebrate your podium, but before we let you go, any shout-outs you'd like to make?
Yeah, thanks to Tex for sponsoring the series, you guys for putting it on, and Catamount Solutions. They keep the internet going and the beer flowing this weekend.
Alrighty, well, thank you for your time, Mr. Hopkins. We'll be seeing you next week.
All right, thanks, guys.
right, and now last but not least, Brad, you got your boy over here, Mr. Nanny.
All right, Zach. So apparently you've become nicknamed my boy, but I'm just saying, I called it last week. I said that your road experience was going to help you, and then you said, oh no, probably not. And then here you are, P3, man. So Portland was up, down, all the way around. Talk me through your race.
Yeah, I was running really, really good until that last restart there. Sending in a little too deep, spun around, and just had to push and hope things went my way, and they luckily did.
I thought it was fun to watch and kind of see how things went. Talk me through that turn one incident that you had that kind of sent you around backwards.
Yeah, I knew how to start the race from the start-finish line, obviously, that close to other cars, and then just kind of lost focus, I guess. I'm not really sure what exactly happened. I don't know if I was too focused on the car in front of me, or if it was expecting it to be like the original race start. Yeah.
Well, man, either way, clearly things worked out. Looking to next week, Martinsville. How are you feeling about Martinsville, and what sort of result are we expecting next week?
I'm not really too confident in Martinsville. I'm really hoping for another top 10. I'm trying to points my way in at this moment because I don't think I can win at Martinsville. Maybe I can get lucky at Pocono.
I think you'll be okay, man. And Zach, before we let you go, anyone you want to thank, anyone you want to shout out, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I'd like to thank everyone who puts this show on, you guys at PTR TV, as well as Triple Bypass Racing as a whole. It's been really fun running ovals again.
All right, well, Zach, congratulations on the P3, man. I know it was very sort of off there at the end, but hey, we'll see how things go moving forward. Congratulations again, man.
Thank you.
All right, well, Corey, I think that's where we're going to call it here. It's been fun.
Yeah, very interesting show here. I think, Dirt, I know you said in the opening which side of my spectrum of predictions was going to be true, and I guess I'll put it down the middle, more to the side of everyone's going to go off track and it's going to be survival. And at the end of all that, that happened, and we had a massive surprise.
Yes, we did, and it was a interesting race from top to bottom. Again, sort of like the Roval, we thought that everything was kind of figured out. We thought we knew exactly how it was going to end up, and then right at the very end, things get turned on their head, and we're left scratching our heads thinking, my goodness, how did that happen? And again, I'm blaming the end of that race on Brad Dalton, giving it the commentator's curse, but either way, it did give us something to talk about and some drama going into next week.
Absolutely the case here. So again, make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe on our mission to 1,900 subscribers here. We are looking to be live next on Tuesday, I think, with the ARCA series here. And then we'll be live Wednesday with the Elbows Out Racing League, Thursday with the E-Car. Whatever. It's a full week here on PTR TV. Make sure you stay tuned for all the action. And that'll be Corey, Andre, and Brad signing out of the booth. Have a great night, and we'll catch you next time.
See you.